Hi there, so today I'm talking about exercise. Is it a good thing? Can we who have fibromyalgia even engage in exercise in any real or fruitful way, given that we have pain in our muscles, in our joints, in our nerves? What sort of exercise should we take part in, given that we've got these sorts of pains? Well, this is only really opinion. I have got some facts to refer to. I'll probably link them in the DB below, based on what I'm going to share with you, because I haven't actually thought through every single thing that I want to share today. Really, it centres around a period just under a year ago, and the outcome of that, and that's had a massive bearing actually on my exercise. So I must exercise, I must move, and I'm sure that if you've had fibro for any length of time, you've discovered a similar thing for yourself, in that you can't just sit, you have to move. So it's critical to us. Excuse me. This is not a very good or very stable camera actually. Perhaps I should use something else. Anyway, we started so we'll finish, you'll bear with me. I'm no expert at this, as you know. So about a year ago, I was watching some YouTube videos, and Barbara O'Neill, who I've mentioned before at least once, she was someone I was looking into at the time. She was talking about high intensity training. Now, I'd been doing some of this way back in sort of 2015, 2016, because the job I was doing at the time had a sports centre attached to it, so I could make use of that whenever I needed to. And one of the classes I used to be able to attend, because a lot of the classes took place during the day, which I couldn't attend, so there weren't that many I could go to after work. But one of them was this HIIT, high intensity interval training class, which I used to go to, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm in my 40s, as you know, and a lot of the people in the class were like in their 20s, early 20s, and I found I could keep up. So that the fact that I can't kind of engage at that level anymore helps me to understand that, you know what, fibro is just so real. I know that people think that it's not real. I've seen some comments here and there. Is it real? It's real. I can testify to that, and I know you can if you're watching this. I'm sure you can. I can't exercise at that level anymore, and I've kind of hinted at it, so I'll go into the details now. I was watching these videos from Barbara O'Neill, and I got myself a little rucksack, and I put some weights in it, water, bottles of water, and some other weights that I actually had already, which were about £1 pound in weight, I think. And I used to go marching off with this backpack strapped to me. The total weight, I think, was about £8. And I would do these short bursts of high intensity walking or jumping or running, no more than say 12 seconds. And I was doing this for about 6 weeks or so. And then, my goodness, my body reacted in such a spiteful way. And I knew, I can't do this, I can't exercise at this level anymore. So I dropped the weights, I dropped the HIIT, and I took to just doing the walking. I mean, I love walking anyway. I love walking because it gets me out and about. I get to see the countryside, I get to chat with the animals. I live in the countryside, and there are horses in the fields around me, sheep, hens, you name it, and I get to enjoy them. And so for me, that's why I like to walk, is to get out and see nature, get to see the changing of the seasons. But it's become more necessary, more important, more valuable, because I can't go into a gym and do a 40-minute HIIT class. My body doesn't like that. I had quite a horrible fibro episode on the back of that time, when I was using the weights and doing the high intensity sessions, you know, and they were small. They were, as I say, maybe between 7 and 12 seconds, whereas when I was going to the classes, the high intensity would last about 30 seconds. In fact, I'm sure they were 30 seconds. The instructor would have this stopwatch, and we would go at it just like mad things for 30 seconds, and then we'd have a 15-second break, and then we'd start again. So by comparison, really just a fraction of that time, but my body didn't like it. I've already mentioned before that I used to run. When I was at secondary school, I was a 100-metre sprinter, and so I've got the body for running, but kind of haven't got the joints and the muscles for running. My body will scream at me and put me in bed if I do that any longer, so I don't. I've literally hung out my running shoes. In fact, I think I gave them away in the end. But getting exercise is critical. I have found a sweet spot now, and that's between 30 and 50 minutes of walking, between 3 and 5 kilometres of walking per day at a gentle pace. Mind you, I shouldn't really say gentle pace, because I think my version of gentle pace by comparison is perhaps a little higher. I know I can regularly overtake people, but then I used to be a hoofer. I could march, can't do that anymore, so perhaps I shouldn't say a moderate pace, let's say, between 3 and 5 kilometres, between 30 and 50 minutes of moderate walking, one moderate pace. No weights, no bursts of intensity, nothing like that, but walking is what my body needs. Flexes my feet, gets my joints nice and warm, exercises out my muscles. I tend to not have anything with me other than just my phone and lip balm and a tissue, those sorts of things, so I can really kind of stretch and use my arms to power me through, and I find that's really helpful. Another thing that I would say about exercise is because we can get quite bloated with the IBS-like symptoms, and perhaps our muscles and joints don't get as active as others, is that we need to move our lymph in another way, and I found that using a mini trampoline or a rebounder, you'll see that a lot on the internet, is really helpful. And I have a mini trampoline in my kitchen, and I will do maybe 300-400 steps on that, so no more than 2 or 3 minutes jumping on that in the morning, and I might have another go in the evening, because I do find it can help me to sleep actually. But that's really good because it's quite gentle, because you're supported because of the bounce action, gets your lymph moving, which is always a good thing. And Barbara O'Neill has said this, I haven't proved it, even though, as you know, I have some eye issues. It's supposed to be good with helping us to regain or retain our eye efficiency. So if your sight is going, it's supposed to be really good at bringing that back. I can't prove that, even though I really would like it to be true. I'll keep doing it and I'll maybe report back. But rebounding or trampolining is really good as well. And you can get a small one, and it just takes up a small part of your house. And if you put it in a place where you really can't help but walk past it all the time, then you could be spending a few minutes just jumping on the way from one room to the other. They're not terribly expensive. Mine was about £50. I think you can get cheaper ones. My sister's gone for a deluxe version. I think it costs about $300. She lives in St. Louis, in the States. I don't think you need to spend that much money if you want to buy one at all. I think they are good. But any exercise, if you're a fibro sufferer and you're thinking, I can't, I would say please give some moderate walking a chance. Get your muscles moving, get your joints gently moving, get your lymph flowing. Get out and about, fill your lungs with fresh air and your eyes with the wonders of the seasons and of nature, but get some exercise. If you really can't, then there are some wonderful, I'll link in the DB below, because I've just discovered these through my employer. There are some wonderful YouTube videos that you can actually follow along to, so you can do exercises even as you sit in your chair. So there's no excuse really, and I do think that along with the supplements and the sleep and the hydration and the other things I've mentioned in previous films, exercise is really beneficial. I can't do without it. Obviously, over-exercising and really pushing my body is not good for me, and I shan't do it again. I've suffered as a result of doing it. But exercise, stretches, Pilates. I should maybe go into a bit more of the Pilates actually. I'll link in the DB below to the Pilates moves that I do religiously every morning on my bed actually, just to help to get things moving and stretching and just to ease out of the posture that I've been in for, let's say, 8 or 9 hours whilst I've been asleep. Exercise is brilliant. It's medicinal. It's not as necessary, I would say, as good nutrition. I think I've already quoted this. Nutrition is 80% of health, and exercise is the remainder, I guess. And I would go with those proportions really. I can't get through a day without going for a walk, even if it's just around the block. But as I say, my sweet spot is between 30 and 50 minutes, and that's about 3 to 5 kilometres. Any more than that, and it's counter-effective. Give it a try. Build up slowly if you haven't had any exercise for a while. But please do, if you've got fibro, if you know someone who's got fibro, please do try exercise. Encourage those loved ones that have got fibro to get up and to move. Outside would be best. Get some vitamin D and all the negative ions in the air. That would be best. If you can't do that, then as I say, I'll provide some links down in the DB below where you can actually exercise from the comfort of your own armchair, never mind the comfort of your own living room. I hope that's been useful. If you've got any tips you can share with me, please do share them, and I'll speak to you again. Bye bye.